Today, I want to talk about Seiko. And I know some of you are salty on Seiko. You hate the quality control issues. You hate the price increases. I certainly can understand that. I think Seiko has done some really dumb things over the years, but they've also done some pretty awesome watches. And I can't quit them. I can't quit Seiko. I'm a Seikopath or a Seikophile, whatever you want to call it. I love this brand, but I also hate this brand. I kind of have a mixed relationship with this awesome Japanese in-house company that makes some great designs. And they've been making practical watches for decades that I really connect with. And I know a lot of you around the globe connect with. A lot of you that watch my channel, you found my channel because of a Seiko video. You know, you were looking at the SBDC 051. There are so many references. Or you were looking at a Seiko SKX video or a Sumo video or a Monster video and you found my channel. A lot of you found me because of the Marinemaster 300. That's a watch that I've owned 4 of them over the years. I can't quit this. I can't quit this brand, guys. Even if I try to, I keep coming back to it because they do great stuff. They are great designs. In fact, I have one watch on pre-order right now. It's being released in Japan on the 11th of December, so just a few days from now. And let me show you a picture of it. This is the SPB 187. It's a beautiful watch. It has some great specifications, great size at 42 millimeters, under 13 in overall height. I believe they're advertising 12.5, which is going to be very thin and trim on wrist. I'm really looking forward to getting my grubby mitts on this watch. In fact, I had a difficult time choosing between this version and the black dial stainless steel bezel version. I flip-flopped back and forth for a couple days before I ended up choosing the blue dial with the black bezel. In fact, I think Seiko probably should have flip-flopped them and had an all-black version, black dial, black bezel, very conservative, classic. I think that would do really well. And then have this fun sunray blue stainless steel bezel insert version. I think that would do really well as well. But anyways, I'm getting sidetracked here. I bought the 187 and I'm really looking forward to seeing it. Seiko, they have been listening to us crazy watch enthusiasts to a small degree, I think, over the past few years. We've been asking for smaller watches, more affordable watches, Prospex versions of their most classic designs. You know, we don't want to spend thousands of dollars on an SLA or an LX. You know, that's just not in the cards for some of us. So we've been asking for smaller sizes. We've been asking for ceramics and sapphire, better looking handsets. We don't like the pointed painted arrow hand that was on the previous generation Tuna and the SBDC 05 series and 06 series. So I think Seiko's been listening to us. We've got turtles now with ceramic bezel inserts and sapphire crystals. We've gotten that recently on the Samurai. We've been seeing some really good stuff. We've been seeing these historic references, you know, the 6105, the Captain Willard, but they're affordable, or at least more affordable, and they're smaller. In fact, some of them are smaller than the original watches that they're based off of. So I think Seiko is doing some really good stuff. And I think it's easy to see why, at least some of you will see why I can't quit this brand. They're doing some really good stuff. And they're just so enjoyable. I know the beat error can be bad if you throw them on a time grapher. I know sometimes the alignment just flat out sucks on a Seiko. I know sometimes the bezel action just feels inconsistent. Like, you know, it just doesn't feel that great. But man, do they make some very solid practical watches with amazing lume. It's all in-house. I mean, I could go on and on about why I enjoy Seiko and why I'll probably always enjoy Seiko. But let's talk about the warts now, and let's talk about a strategy that Seiko has been employing over the past about 6 to 8 months or so. And I want to get your guys' opinion. I'm going to share my opinion, but I want to hear what you think here, and we'll discuss it in the comments section. But basically, Seiko has been more strategic in how they've been releasing these watches, these desirable watches that have some of these elements that we've been asking for as watch enthusiasts. You know, case in point, let's talk about what they've done in the past first. And that is when they release a watch, they produce a whole bunch, and then it's available globally, and it's pretty available. You can go to a number of authorized dealers, either in Japan or, in the Philippines, in the United States. You can go to Toppers, you can go to Exquisite, you can go to Timeless Luxury or Arizona Fine Time, Shopping in Japan, Seiya. There are all these places you can go to get these watches. They're pretty available. Namen watches in Singapore. There's no problems when it comes to availability. And I think these watches enjoy good popularity at first. A lot of us go out, purchase the watch. A lot of YouTubers want to be the first to film it and capitalize on the thousands of views you can get if you're among the first to highlight an anticipated design from Seiko. So, I think a lot of these watches, like the 051, the 061, they go through this process where they're widely available. They're purchased at a pretty decent degree at first, and then you know what? It kind of tapers off, and YouTube personalities stop hyping up these watches, and maybe sales plummet. I don't know. I'm not privy to the sales figures, but I think that's what's happened in years past. Now, let's talk about these new releases that I'm really excited about, specifically the SPB 143 and the SPB 151. These are two designs that I've told several of you that have reached out to me that I plan on buying these watches because I want to check them out. I want to review them. I want to compare them. I want to create content on these watches. But most of all, I want to enjoy them on my wrist because I love Seiko and I hate Seiko, so I can't quit this brand even if I try to. I want to try these watches, basically, is what I'm trying to say. But here's the thing. Seiko has changed their release strategy when it comes to some of these watches. Instead of just dumping them on the authorized dealers, and maybe that's a harsh term, but they're slowly, just letting them trickle out one at a time. Send one to Topper, send one to Arizona Fine Time, send one to Exquisite, send one to Namen, And they're not as available as previous designs have been in years past. In fact, I asked Exquisite Timepieces back when I first found out about these watches if I could purchase from them and be among the first. As soon as they got their first batch, could I get 2 of those? I'll buy them, send them out to me. I'll be one of the first YouTubers to talk about, these watches and stuff. And they said, yeah, absolutely. We're expecting them in July of 2020. Well, guess what? July came and went. August came and went, September came and went, October came and went, November came and went. We're in early December and they have yet to get a 143 or a 151. They've gotten a couple of some of the other dial variations, color variations, and they have not got what they would like to get. I'll just leave it at that. And I talked to another authorized dealer in the United States, in California, and they told me that Seiko's just releasing basically one at a time. It's a very controlled release. And even if they wanted to, they couldn't promise me a watch within a reasonable time frame. And I thought about this, and I thought, okay, why is Seiko doing something different here? And I know some of you are chiming in right now saying Seiko's trying to be Rolex. Rolex is manufacturing a false supply, demand, scarcity, whatever you want to call it. That's another topic for another video. Seiko is trying to be Rolex. I can hear it right now through the screen. And I don't necessarily think that's the case. One, because I know Rolex is selling more watches than they've ever sold before, and it's not a manufactured scarcity. They're producing roughly 1 million watches. And if you try to go to your authorized dealer and purchase one, I don't even think you'll be able to do it because so many people are trying to get some of these watches, and Rolex is making more than they ever have, even from 5 years ago. So I know it's not a false scarcity. It's a crazy demand. And I think what Seiko is doing, I think they're seeing that business strategy, and they're saying, how can we get the demand up to where every time we release a watch, we're selling more of them. We're selling them quicker. We're selling them for higher prices. I think any watch brand should aspire to the success that Rolex has. Love Rolex or hate Rolex, agree with me or disagree with me. That's totally fine. But I think Seiko is trying to change things up again. And tell me your guys' opinion on this, but wouldn't a more sustained demand be better for this brand? There's going to be some of us that are patient, right? Like I want to see these watches, even if I have to wait 6 months, 8 months, God forbid a year. I still want to see these watches. So there's going to be some of us that will put up with Seiko's shenanigans. There's going to be some of us saying, you know what? If Seiko starts playing games with me, I'm at my limit. Heck no, no more Seiko. I know there's going to be guys like that. But here's the question, guys. Do you think a manufactured scarcity of these watches, will that overall help Seiko in the long run? Will they sell more watches this way by slowly increasing the exposure, keeping that demand a little bit higher? Is this a good move for them? Will it negate or change, the previous system, which I laid out earlier in the video, where they release a watch, there's a bunch of hype, a bunch of initial sales, and then it kind of falls off. People forget about it. YouTube stops talking about it, all of that stuff. I think they're trying to change things up here. And it's evident with how difficult some of these watches have been to get. You go online and there's not 20 examples for sale. There's maybe 5 or 10. And so is this a good thing? Is this going to be successful for Seiko, or is it a turnoff? I certainly hope the brand does well. I have nothing against Seiko. I can call them out for their shenanigans. I can be a price moaner and groaner at times. I can laugh at silly quality control issues, misprints, misalignments. Certainly I can join in the ribbing and a little bit of the vitriol that Seiko gets, sure. But like I said earlier, I can't quit this brand. It's such a fun brand. And really, it's such a part of my watch journey. But I want to hear you guys' take. What do you think about this slow strategy of trickling out their watches? Will they sell more that way? Will the demand taper off, or will it slowly start to swell and increase? And do you think we'll see this in future releases? Will we see this with the 187 that I have on pre-order? I'd be interested to hear your take. Thanks very much for watching today. I really appreciate the time you've taken to watch kind of this rambling long video. If you're still here, man, you're an MVP. Looking forward to talking in the comments section. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.